2-second countdown thing on there, I think.
Oh, that sounds good.
Nah, screw it. Welcome to Credit Leverage X. I'm here with Gino, and we're going to be talking a lot about funding, financing, changing your life, getting out of debt, getting access to money that you never thought was possible. And I'm just super excited. So we've been really, in the trenches, putting in a lot of work. So we now have an option for people to fix their credit for just $97 a month. We can basically help you get access to 0% interest funding, which is like a game changer for up to 12, even some are like 36 months where you can get funding for at 0%. So that's like cheap money. Like Gino was saying, or I said last week, it's like if you can get access to money right now, it's a lot easier than it would be for you to work. And then you can use that money to, invest, to buy real estate, to start a business, to scale a business, and really do whatever it is that you truly want. And the bigger picture, though, we talk a lot about money, we talk a lot about stuff, but it's just like, this could change so many people's lives, right? This is the opportunity of a lifetime for people to get access to money that they never could have gotten access to, and then use that money to help other people, to start businesses, start jobs, to, boost their own endeavors. And like the big thing that I think is kind of cool, it's a little selfish, but it's like you can actually live your life, right? Instead of just working all the time for a company, instead of just like slaving away for somebody else's dreams, you can finally hit pause on working for other people and just focus on your own dreams and your own life and your own ambitions. And that's really powerful because, you only got one life. Like it's not really worth wasting in the corporate world or doing anything else, like fighting for someone else's dreams. Like if you're not fighting for your own dreams, you're just working to make somebody else's dreams come true, and they're out living the best life while you're getting beat up and not sleeping and getting grumpy. So that's just the epiphany. I mean, we do have to work hard still. You still have to go through the rings, but the knowledge that we have, the knowledge is so powerful. And the fact that we're able to bring it to people at mass scale and change people's lives, pretty much anyone in the US can join our program and fix their credit and then get funding and use that funding to create multiple streams of income, or, really start whatever venture they believe in or whatever dreams they've had, and kind of go from there. So somebody wants to talk finances, well, we're talking finance. What do you think, Gino? I know you had this epiphany the other day, and it's just kind of like, this is kind of the vision.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's been clinging for me. It's like, why do all this if we're gonna, the purpose of not just to make money or how to create passive income, it's really to change people's lives, right? So it's the biggest epiphany that I've had, which is, and there's a way you can change people's lives mentally, spiritually, like, other ways. But there's still the finances that needs to be in place. If you're not financially stable, financially set, and you're working to make money, you're still on that same system that you've been on for all these years. Whether you worked on 9 to 5 at Starbucks, like myself, I worked at Radio Shack for many years when I was first going to college. I mean, I did it for 5-6 years, and I know how it is. But essentially, you're working to make money. So why not be able to change your life and not have to work to access that money? You get to have money available for you, but you just have to know how to use it. If you have access to money, you can change your life, and then that's the biggest thing. Everybody that's starting off, the reason that everybody's at where they are is because they don't have, they're not getting paid a lot at their job. They're not getting enough money to, inflation keeps going through the roof, and people are still making the same amount of money. I know that. They would give out 3% raises, and inflation is at 5-6%. So you're like, well, you're not really helping me, right? So essentially, the main thing is like it comes down to, you're also your life and your family. You want to spend your time with your family. You want to spend your time how you want to do it. You want to take the time necessary to give that time to family and to dedicate that time to work. So that's the epiphany. It's a powerful thing when you think about it. The whole United States is based on the credit system and the same system that we're working. And we have an opportunity, working Americans that have been working all these years. And now they're like, well, I'm still working for my money and I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Well, the reason you're not getting anywhere is because you're not getting paid enough. And that's the reason why. And in order to get paid enough, you have to do multiple things, which is what I did. But then you also have to realize you got to be able to maximize and access money that you didn't have. Because if you don't have that money, your 9 to 5 or your career or whatever is not going to give you enough money. It's going to take you years, years, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It took me 2, 3 years just to buy a single family home. Like it takes years to save up the kind of money that you need to be able to invest to create passive income. And that's what really is the thing, is the key,
Yeah, there's that one, I think it's like a joke or whatever, but the sales guy, he goes into work in his beat up car and he sees his boss pull up in like a new Lambo, and his boss gets out and tells him like, "Oh man, you worked really hard this year, and if you keep working this hard, I'll be able to buy another one of these next year." You know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, come on, like there's a better way to live, better way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like dropping some nuggets into the stream today. Hopefully someone will pick it up, and I'm going to make some more YouTube videos on this, but this is just so powerful. So like the first step again is the credit, right? Your personal credit is everything. We figured out how we can fix your credit in like 45 to probably 90 days if I'm being realistic. But the way that we do it is first we have to analyze your credit, right? A lot of people's credits are all over the place. So your credit might be super jacked up, might be, only have a couple dings on it or whatever, or maybe you don't have any credit, you need to show proof. But we can basically send letters and we challenge everything that's on your credit. Just boom, boom, boom. We send them to the bureaus. The bureaus reply back, whatever they want, right? And the whole point of what we do is we build a file, right? We get really organized, like we're like some lawyers about to like, take these bureaus to court or whatever. So we get their response, we put them in a file, we organize them, and then we go to the CFPB, or like the consumer law, right? They're a part of the government that is there to protect consumers from all the wrongdoings of the society we live in, America or whatever, right? And then we basically send them letters, we send them all the file that we put together and organize, and we tell them, look, these bureaus have inaccurate data, and it is hindering me from buying a house, buying a car, starting a business, getting a loan, opening a bank account. And I need you to, on my behalf, sue the bureaus. Now, the bureaus are massive, massive, massive corporations, and they don't give a shit about you. That's just the facts. So they're just going to remove everything off your credit. Not necessarily like that, but a lot of it's going to get removed really quickly, right? Now you have like a fresh credit, and then you can basically buy credit lines from our trade lines. From us, we have access to amazing, amazing trade lines that are aged and you can boost your credit, very, very quickly. So once you buy some of these trade lines from us, right? So we just fixed your credit 45 days. Now he's just basically sold you like 3 to 5 trade lines. That's going to grow your credit for the next 3 months really fast. Now we're getting into funding, right? And the cool thing about funding is even if you don't have a business, you can literally open up an LLC today the correct way with us. Get your EIN number. What's that other business that they have to log get a number from?
Dun & Bradstreet.
Yeah, and you get your Dun & Bradstreet. You open up some bank accounts, right? You just go to Chase, you go to Wells Fargo, you go to all these little credit unions in your area. You put like 50 or $100 into the bank account. You start your LLC, you get it like all looking correct, right? And the thing is that I'm learning more is like the name of your business matters, and the way that your business represents itself matters too. So you have to have like a legit looking business. You got to put it on Google. It like makes me think of SEO. So I used to make fake businesses and then sell leads to businesses, right? So I got really good at doing this. But you want your business to have like a really good name. And you don't want it to have the words real estate. You don't want it to have the words trucking. You don't want it to be like a sketchy name, basically. You want it to like be something that's like very generic, because these banks, right? This is the biggest actually epiphany I've had recently is like, think like the banks, right? If you're a bank and you're going to loan somebody $50,000, $100,000, what are you going to want to see, right? You're going to want to see a legit business when they Google you. You're going to want them to pop up on Google Maps. You're going to want them to have a good looking website. You're going to want them to have some social media or something like that, as well as like a bank account and proof that they're a thing. But what's really cool is like, let's say you start a brand new LLC and then you go to fill out one of these forms or whatever, and it's going to ask you, how much income do you make? The truth is, in that little box right there, the bank is only asking, how much income are you projected to make, right? So, and you typically get like 10% according to what I've been doing of what you say. So if you put down, I'm going to make $250,000 this year, they'll be like, okay, here's, 25 grand in credit. Let's see how this goes. It's kind of exciting. But then you basically have to work with us, because whenever you're applying to all these credit bureaus, you don't want to screw yourself over. And that's like the thing that nobody seems to understand is like, it takes a lot of work, not only to first fix your credit, send all the letters, but then to actually do the funding part, because we got to have somebody on the phone every day, calling all the bureaus, removing inquiries. And then we have to be on the computer with you, applying to these banks, because you can only get funding in certain areas where you live, right? So if you live on the East Coast, you got to go to different banks. If you live in like the Midwest, you got to go to different banks. If you live on the West Coast, you got to go to different banks, which is kind of interesting, because maybe we could, like, I don't know, open up businesses in just different parts of the country and just hit all the banks,
Well, technically, I mean, that's what it is. That's the power of being able to understand the banks and how the banks work. And when you understand how the banks operate, they like to do business locally. Like, they like to see you. They want to see who you are. They want to know that the business is locally operated. And that's kind of they call it the footprint. So if you're within their footprint, then you can definitely get funding from them. And just, certain banks, like tier one banks, like, Chase, Bank of America, even US Bank, for example, some of these banks, they're also, they're almost tier one, I would say, US Bank, but even though they're classified tier two, but basically they're nationwide. If they're all over the nation and they're in your hometown, then they're a bank that you can apply all the time, right? It doesn't matter which business you open. But there's other banks that are like local. For example, you got your Alliant, you have your credit unions that PNC, you have your other credit unions that includes if you have like I forget the other name, but basically it's like it's a different local credit unions that were local to your area. For us, we have certain ones, and also the ones that are in, let's say, Arizona or New York or Miami. Those different banks are local to the business, and if you're in that area, then you want to be able to apply to those banks, because they're going to give you the best amount of funding. You just want to see that you're a legitimate business, you have the right paperwork in place, you have your website up, you have an address, and there is someone representing some person or something behind it. That's not just the business has to have people, right? If there's no people, there's no business. So they have to have some kind of personal guarantee on this level. So the personal guarantee comes from the personal credit. So if you have a good credit, starting from opening up a business, your personal credit has to be structured in a way where any bank pulls your credit. They're going to look at your credit because even though you're applying as a business, they will look at your credit, and then that credit will determine how much money they're willing to fund, whether it's a credit card or a loan. They're going to see, okay, this person has less than 6% utilization is what you want to be at. You want to have 3 to 5 active accounts that are being paid every month with no late payments. You want to have no derogatories. You want to have less than 3 inquiries on your credit report. These are what they're looking for. And then if you have a bunch of credit report inquiries, a bunch of accounts that are open that you don't even use, or even if you have late payments or anything like that, that's going to look bad, right? So they're going to say, oh, this individual is applying to a bunch of banks. Here's inquiries, show that. It looks like he can't make his payments on time. It looks like he's, he has a bad credit history, or he doesn't have enough accounts because he's too new. If we clean your credit, you're basically reborn. Like, you don't have credit when you get your credit clean. So just because you get your credit fixed doesn't mean you have credit. So you have to be able to get your credit fixed. You got to be able to build credibility, and then you have to be able to go to the bank in a suit looking like that, basically, right? And metaphorically speaking, and the bank is looking at you like, oh, you look like a clean cut individual, and you got your paperwork in order. You have your credit looks great. You have no derogatories. You're not late. You have no evictions. You have no bankruptcies. You have these things are out of your credit, and now you're a personal guarantee to this business that they're about to fund. And this business has to be also structured correctly. So there's a lot to it, right? Your business has to have the right name. It has to have the right address. It has to have an actual building. You can't just put an address that's at a residential property. It has to be an actual building. It has to have certain criteria to get maximum amount of funding to be able to get these banks to give you money. Now, certain credit cards will give you a credit, like American Express. They're usually pretty good at funding, regardless of certain criteria, but they still look for things that are included on your personal credit. So either way, that your personal credit is going to be a major determination of how much money you can get.
Yeah, got to fight back against the system, but then you got to like professional and make it happen. But then it's just so crazy, like. I mean, if you are serious, you can get almost up to like $250,000 in funding, like 0%, and it's just a game. And then you have to do the art of flipping the bag, which is the professional term, where making wise decisions with your money, right? And like
Yes.
that's really where we come in. So it's like we're gonna fund you, we're gonna get you funded. Like Gino and I, or we're spitting some serious game right here. So I hope everybody who watches this appreciates it. But once you get the money, you got to have your head on your shoulders. You got to make good investments. You can't be going, and buying Gucci bags unless you're planning on selling those Gucci bags for more money than what you paid for, and like you really need to have a plan and have a community, which is what the Credit Leverage X community is all about. That's going to help you like find good investment plans and learn from each other and pick the best strategies that are working right now. I mean, Gino's about to buy a laundromat. There's lots of different investment angles that you can go in. You just need to make sure you're making smart decisions with your money. And it's just really powerful. And then you're basically gonna like upgrade your whole life once you really start doing this. Once funding is no longer an issue, you're still gonna have to figure out how to make a real business, how to manage people, how to do all this stuff,
Yeah, we
or
can
how
get you
to.
a bunch of money. We can get you a bunch of money, but like, we can get your credit face, we can get you those trade lines, we can get you money, which is, there's a bunch of people doing that. But the question is, when you get them the money, like, I'm assuming that things are very structured and correctly. Some
Yeah,
things, some people say they're gonna get you a business funding, but they don't do it right. They get you, whatever they can get you. We want to get
yeah,
you maximum amount of funding. That means we structure you correctly from the personal side, and then we structure you correctly on the business side. So if you don't have a business, we'll help you open up an LLC. We'll help you structure that LLC. We'll get you your Dun & Bradstreet number. We'll also be able to get you a bunch of trade lines that are on the business side you can apply for and start getting those trade lines in there on the business side as well, which will help you get even more funding. And on top of that, get you to understand how to use money correctly. And that's really what powerful flipping the bag, turning something that you put money into and allow that either that asset or that product that you just purchased and make more money off it. That's the power, and that's what we're going to help you do. And that's why we have the Credit Leverage community, in order to allow everybody to kind of like, get each other's back and really like make sure that we're doing it right. That way, we're all here for each other. That's what really the community is about, is that we're not here, for ourselves. We're here for you, and everybody else should be here for you. That means everybody else should be watching your back, making sure that you got the right stuff in order. And some of you guys are going to be joining our program. You're going to be the experts that are going to teach the next students that are coming in. So this is how it works. Everybody ends up learning. We all learn together. We all grow together, and we all succeed together. And that's the power of a community like this. I do want to touch on the fact that we have, funding is important, because if you work every day and you try to make, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 a month, and it's going to take you like, maybe like 20,000. Like not everybody makes 20,000, like it's hard to make up that much money if you're doing one job, right? If you're doing multiple things, like, I was able to get, past that by doing multiple businesses. But in order to do that, you need to be able to, be very disciplined and be very organized to run multiple businesses at the same time. And if you're not already doing that, if you haven't ever opened a business, or you haven't ever taken that kind of risk or stepped away from your job, it's kind of scary, right? To step away from an income that you're so used to, or you're working every month, you have that money coming in, even though it's not a lot, you can survive. But that's the thing, like you need to get out of that survival mode. You need to get out of that survival mode, and you start learning of how to become abundant. And abundant means having access to money. Now, if you have 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 available now, instead of having to go to work tomorrow to make a $200, $2,000 check, let's say, that's going to be big, right? You're going to be like, whoa, it took me a month to make 2, 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand. We're talking about $5,000 here. Like, that's how much money people are making. And that's a lot of money. $5,000 in the United States of America is a lot of money. The only place that's probably not a lot of money is California and New York, maybe Miami. Like other areas, $5,000 is a good amount of money every month for anybody living in the Midwest or anywhere else, right? So it's like we're gonna give you 4 times that. We're gonna give you 5 times that, right? And now, what happens when you have access to 5 times your money, your original, your actual income? What happens? What happens is you now gave yourself 6 months advance payments. You're 6 months ahead of everybody else. Everybody else still trying to make that 2, 3, 4, 5,000. You're 6 months ahead of the game, and now you're like, man, I don't have to work like as hard because I got money. So now what do? I need to take advantage of the opportunity, and I need to put that money to work. And that's the power of leverage, and that's what we're going to teach everybody how to do, and be able to understand that biggest epiphany, as Robert said in the beginning of this live show, is that getting access to money is easier and cheaper than working, because you're spending your time, which is the most precious thing. If you care about your life, time is the most powerful thing. You don't want to waste your time, and how much you get paid. Question is how much is your time worth? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And then when you realize your time is worth way more than what you're getting paid for, you start to realize, I want to build something for myself. I want to build something for my family, and I want to be able to help other people. This is what it's about. This is why Credit Leverage was created, for that purpose.
Yeah. And if I'm making less than 5K a month, I'm pissed. It's not a lot of money here either.
I was making less than 5K a month as an engineer. I worked for I would say maybe 5, 6, 7 years. I was making maybe after taxes, right? When I got 4,000 or 5,000, I was happy, man. At the end of my career, I was making about 85, maybe 9,000 a month. I mean, I was working for 14, 15 years to make that kind of money, right? But you're talking about after tax money, but still at the end, you get taxed, right? So you cannot, they tax you before they even give you the check. That's how it works. So essentially, why not pay less taxes now? Don't pay taxes now, invest your money, then let the IRS come after you and pay them later, right? It's like at the end of the day, why don't be the one that's like, oh, here. You're like, hey, you want something? I owe you money? Okay, prove it to me. How much do I owe you? Let's look at it. At the end of the day, they're not going to come in, they're going to come in front of your house and try to scare you or whatever. It comes down to money. As long as you are able to be organized, proper your business structure correctly, and have the right people in your team, like a right CPA. We have a lawyer on our team that can help you out as well. We have the resources necessary is what you need. And that's what Credit Leverage gives you access to, the resources that you wouldn't have, or or the trustees that you believe that would help you. Those are what we have in our circle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we spit enough fire for today, man. I don't know. I feel like I dropped some serious nuggets there.
The epiphany is time is more important than money. I would say time is not money. Now my epiphany is time is way more valuable than money. And if your time is valuable, ask your employer, how much money are you paying for my time? If they're telling you, oh, I think you're worth $30 an hour. Well, I think you're not. I think you got me wrong.
You got me fucked up. I know.
$20 an hour. What is it? $15 an hour minimum wage now? I don't know what it is, but it's just it's insane. It's insane. But yeah, that's the epiphany is, this is not the way that the American dream was supposed to be. The American dream is supposed to be available to anybody. Everybody should be able to access money, and if they do the right way, they won't have a problem. The problem is they don't have the right guidance, and they don't have the right mentors or mentees to help them do it like we can, right?
Mm-hmm. I had this friend from Africa, and he was super happy he came to America. He's like, in Africa where I'm from, they'll use you like soap. And I was like, what does that mean? He's like, well, it's not until you are tired, not until you're out of it, but until you're completely gone. That's how it is. And as the economy goes, man, that's what more and more of these employers are going to do to people. They're going to use people like soap, man. Not till they're tired, not till they need a mental health day, but until they're fucking gone.
You just get drained, you just every day you wake up at a certain time, you have to be out there, you have to be on that call or whatever. Obviously this discipline needs to be in place, but if you're doing it because you're creating your own reality and you're creating your own future, that's different. But when you're not, you're no longer stuck to that that job or that, you're afraid that you can't get employed or you can't pay your rent tomorrow, that's not, that's what needs to change. And that's what we're going to change, because we're our goal is to change one person at a time. And every person that joins our community is going to be able to change the next person, and also help the next person around them. And that's where the power of this community is. And I want everybody to realize that we're already doing it with the people that we know already, and the people around me, the people around Robert, those are already happening. So, if you want to come into our circle and start getting that knowledge and start learning and start growing, the money that you pay to get in, if it's $97 for credit, I mean, that's a no-brainer. We fix your credit and we give you a course. I mean, that's insane. But then on top of that, we also give you a bunch of access to money that you didn't have. You start learning how to structure your business. So if you've never done that before, this is where we can help you out.
Yeah, and then there's this quote that from Nietzsche. Nietzsche is what it is, but I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seemed impossible shouldn't be the reason not to pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and the greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges. And that's really what this is like all about. It's like, I know that's powerful as fuck. Like, are you gonna just like, be basic and be normal like everybody else and like just not take the risk, or are you gonna actually grow a pair and try and live your life to the fullest and take the risk and take the jump?
You owe it to yourself. Like I say, I felt like, I'm saying this to myself, but I'm also saying it to others. Like, you owe it to yourself. Like I owed it to myself. I believe you guys owe it to yourself to make that epiphany jump and that ability to like take the risk. But in this case, if I had a mentor and told me, hey, this is what you need to do and this is how you do it, I mean, I would be so happy right now. It's like, man, I spent thousands, 20, 30, 40 thousands on education, on knowledge, and how to learn how real estate works, how to learn how car rentals business works, how to learn how real estate or commercial real estate works. How to learn how to do wholesale, how to learn how to do affiliate marketing, how to learn how to open up Amazon stores, how to learn all this stuff, knowledge, right? All this time I invested in myself. You have that same opportunity to invest in yourself. But now, instead of just learning how to do one thing, you're going to be able to access multiple things, and then you just do what you want. Like, what do you want to do? Like, if you have an opportunity to do something right now, what would you want to do? And we can help you get there. That's the goal. Your dreams are not far off. Your time is not gonna be wasted with us. We have money back guarantee policies. We don't care about your money. We want you to join because you really want to make that difference. And that's why it's the power of learning. And the time that's spent, people that are going to be working, we're creating jobs for these individuals. They're going to be helping you, and you're going to be growing. And now we have our own community. People are working for each other. Basically, you guys can hire people within our community. I mean, this can be bigger than we think. So,
yeah. Well, I think that was amazing. We're gonna have to clip this up, man. We had some fire moments right there.
Man. It's just beautiful, and that's the community mindset. That's why I believe in community. And if you could change on a physical world, like you go work out, get big, build a muscle, it's the same thing, right? Your brain is a muscle, so you got to work it, you got to learn, you got to keep growing. You can't be stopping where you are. You always have to want to keep growing. Even me, like where I'm at, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to make things happen, because I believe money is not the goal anymore. Right. For me it's like I want to grow. I want to change people's lives. And it's like changing people's lives means you got to start helping people that are less fortunate than you are. And helping those people doesn't mean just giving them money. Like if I give them money, I am going to be doing that basically. Well, I'm going to teach you how to do the game, and I'm going to give you back, 5, 10, 15, 20 times your money, right? I'll give $20,000, $30,000 worth of money. If you're paying into the program, you're going to get more money back. That's guaranteed. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get more money back than you put into this program. It's almost, and Robert can speak on that as well. But the thing is, we don't care about the money because we know we can get you more money. What we want to do is we want you to make a change in yourself and your mentality, and start taking that that step away from having to depend on your employer, where you become the employer. and you can start helping people and hiring people and changing their lives. And then you want them to grow, right? And that's where really that's the power of, like, shaking each other's hand kind of thing. I always like to do that with every situation I'm in, even if it's in my tenants or if it's in my employees. I always want to make sure, the question is, I've said it before, if I'm making money, or is everybody else making money around me making money? If everybody around me is not making money, then I'm around the wrong people. So I want to make sure that people around me are making money, and in turn I will make money. So it's like we'll all make money together. And that's really, it doesn't have to be like me, it doesn't have to be like one other person. It's everybody can make money, and there's no need to to worry, there's not enough money out there, there's not enough opportunities out there. There's so many opportunities. You just have to be able to believe in yourself and really take that chance and that leap, because if you don't do it now, time is going. Time is not, there's a finite number, and that time is going to run out. And when that time runs out, when I look around and I see these people, when they're working and they come home or whatever, or they go to the gym and they only have an hour to go to the gym, I feel really bad for these people, man. I feel like these people have gone through, what I've gone through, but I was lucky and fortunate enough not to have to do hard labor. I had education, and certain people, like they go through tough jobs and they do a lot of work, construction or whatever, and it's like, man, I really think that they can change their life if they really want to. So they just have to believe in themselves and have the right guidance.
Some discipline. You gotta fucking put in the work for yourself. You're worth it. That's the biggest thing.
Nothing happens for free. And like I said, Robert, we're planning on giving you guys back more money than you give us. Put it that way.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. No risk either. If you don't make your money, you don't spend a penny. So, well, good stuff, man. I think this was a great live stream. We're going to keep trying to do this every Wednesday at 12 Pacific time. Check out Credit Leverage X. I put a link down below. It's our VSL, the Working American's Way to Riches. We're really going to be focusing on helping people fix their credit and getting people funding and teaching people how to make multiple streams of income. If that's anywhere on your radar and you're ready to go.
We'll also talk about how you can make money also by saving money, and that's taxes as well. So we're gonna touch on taxes as well, which is, I think, another venue of people don't realize how much money you can make by saving money.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. It's like, make more money, spend less money, and then figure out how to save some money as well. So
at the end,
yeah,
Uncle Sam is gonna take your money no matter what. You just gotta learn how to give him less. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I heard yesterday, it's like, as soon as money has to be fluid, right? As soon as it stops, it's taxed and you're losing it, basically. So you always got to be moving your money somewhere. It's got to be flowing,
Flow like water, brother. So I'm excited, man. I hope everybody else is excited as we are, because we're on a whole nother level now. We're like, man, this is more powerful than ourselves. So we're like, now it's time to just, make it available, and everybody in the United States. I got people internationally wanting to learn about this, even though it's not in here, right? But I'm like, well, come to America. But first we're gonna take care of the Americans. And we want to be able to help others, and people that are coming to the United States right now, when all the stuff that's happening in the world, people are coming with nothing. They have no money, they have nothing, so they need something. They want to work. I've had people call me from Russia, that are people that are coming from Russia. They're, hey, I need a job. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I got stuff that I can get you to do. So it's like, you want to be that person that can help someone else when they need that. They need a job, or they need something to take care of their family. You want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that's that's working for someone else that can't helping hand. And you don't have to feel like you're giving them money. You give them something better. You give them a job, and also the ability to grow and then learn, right?
Yeah, give them an opportunity, create more opportunities, and then the world will give you more opportunities, basically.
Beautiful.
Well, cool. I think we're going to wrap up. Check out creditleveragex.com. I look forward to talking to you guys in the next one. Peace.